In the soft, dim light of the hospital room, a battle unlike any other is taking place. 8-year-old Ethan Parker, pale and weak, is fighting for his life. The steady beep of the heart monitor is a reminder of the ticking clock, each second feeling heavier than the last. His parents, Sarah and Michael, are sitting by his side, their eyes red with the weight of hopelessness. The doctors have done all they can, but their words hang in the air like a sentence neither of them can bear. The room is quiet, yet suffocating, filled with an overwhelming sense of despair. But through the stillness, there's a flicker of warmth. Charlie, Ethan's golden retriever, never leaves the boy's side. His loyalty and love radiate as he rests beside Ethan, his snout gently pressed against the boy's trembling hand. Charlie knows something the humans can't yet understand. His presence, calm and unwavering, seems to shield Ethan from the darkness closing in. This bond, so deep and so pure, is more than just companionship. It's a promise that no matter what, Charlie will be there to protect the one he loves most. And in that quiet, dimly lit room, something more than medicine is at work. Charlie, without saying a word, has made it clear that he's ready to fight, too. And this battle is far from over. The air in the room grows heavier as Dr. Coleman, with a grave look in his eyes, announces the truth Sarah and Michael have been dreading. There's nothing more they can do. Ethan's heart is too weak, and despite all the medical efforts, his condition is irreversible. The words crash like a tidal wave, leaving Sarah and Michael in stunned silence. Time is running out, and with it, their hope. They sit there, helpless, feeling like the world is slipping through their fingers, the weight of the news pressing down on their hearts. But in the midst of their despair, Charlie remains steadfast, a silent guardian at Ethan's side. The dog paces, his eyes scanning the room, his every movement filled with urgency as if he senses something none of them can see. His instinct is strong, unwavering. The silence is shattered by the sharp beeping of Ethan's heart monitor, signaling an irregularity. The rhythm falters, just like their fading hope. Sarah gasps, her voice choked with fear as she calls for help. The doctors rush in, but Charlie doesn't back away. Instead, with a powerful grace, the dog leaps onto the bed, pressing his body against Ethan's, offering him warmth, comfort, and something even more precious, his love. And in that moment, as if in response to the bond between them, something extraordinary happens. The chaos of the room fades into the background, and Ethan's heart monitor begins to stabilize. A hushed calm spreads through the room as if Charlie's presence is the missing piece to the puzzle, the one thing that could keep Ethan here. The medical team stands frozen, watching in disbelief. Charlie, the dog they couldn't understand, had just done the unthinkable. He had given Ethan something that medicine couldn't. The heart monitor's irregular beeping slowly fades into a soft, steady rhythm. The room, once filled with chaos and fear, now pulses with a quiet sense of hope. For the first time in days, Ethan's eyelids flutter, and with a breath, he opens his eyes. His gaze is weak, but it's focused. He whispers softly, almost as if in a dream, "Charlie." A wave of disbelief washes over Sarah and Michael. They both freeze, unsure whether they're seeing what they think they are. Ethan, their son, who had been slipping away before their very eyes, has awakened. His breathing is steady, his pulse strong, as if the darkest moments have passed. The doctors, too, stare in stunned silence, unable to offer any explanation. Their medical knowledge can't fathom what has just happened. Ethan was supposed to be beyond saving, but somehow, against all odds, he is here. Meanwhile, Charlie, the ever-faithful golden retriever, lies exhausted on the floor, his body heavy and drained. His eyes, once bright with energy, are now dimmed, reflecting the incredible toll his unwavering devotion has taken. The family watches, unable to comprehend how this could be, but deep down, they know that Charlie's love and presence had something to do with Ethan's miraculous recovery. As the silence lingers, Ethan, still weak but now fully conscious, whispers again, this time to his parents, "Charlie, He was there with me, Mom, Dad. When it was dark, I could hear him. He didn't let me go. He stayed with me. Tears flow freely down Sarah's face as she holds her son close, overwhelmed by the enormity of what has just unfolded. Michael, his voice thick with emotion, squeezes her hand, both of them understanding that something beyond the physical world had intervened. Ethan was saved, not just by medical equipment, but by the love of a dog who had been with him through it all. Charlie's devotion, so pure and steadfast, had brought their son back to them. And in that moment, they realized that the bond between them and their dog went far deeper than anyone could have imagined. Charlie didn't just protect Ethan. He had kept him from the darkness, keeping him alive with nothing but the strength of his love. As Ethan's condition continues to improve, a quiet unease settles in the room. While Ethan slowly regains strength, something is clearly wrong with Charlie. The once vibrant dog, who had never left Ethan's side, now lies weak and motionless. His golden fur, once shining with vitality, now looks dull. His eyes, though still filled with affection, lack the spark they once had. He doesn't react to sounds or movements the way he used to. His energy seems drained, as though something inside him has been given away. Sarah and Michael exchange worried glances, unable to understand what's happening. Charlie had always been a source of joy and boundless energy, but now he seems exhausted. His movements are slow, his gaze distant, as if he's physically present but emotionally somewhere far away. It's clear to them that Charlie has given more than his usual loyalty. But how much more? In their concern, Michael contacts a veterinarian, hoping to find some answers. The veterinarian examines Charlie closely, checking for physical signs of illness, but everything appears normal. Charlie is healthy, he says, but there's something else. A deep emotional exhaustion that can't be explained by any medical condition. The vet suggests that the dog's behavior might be the result of a tremendous emotional strain. It's possible that Charlie, in his deep connection with Ethan, has taken on more than just the role of a pet. As Michael listens to the vet's diagnosis, his mind drifts to an old story his grandfather had told him long ago. He remembers hearing about ancient beliefs of dogs who, in times of extreme need, could give a part of their life force to protect the ones they loved. At the time, Michael had dismissed it as a myth. But now, watching Charlie's weary form, it seems less like a fairy tale and more like a possibility. Could Charlie have given something of himself to save Ethan? Ethan, who has now fully regained consciousness and can comprehend the full depth of Charlie's sacrifice, looks at his beloved dog with tears in his eyes. His voice is quiet but full of emotion. Mom, Dad, Charlie, he saved me. He stayed with me in the dark, when I was alone. He never left me. Now, I want to help him. He gave everything for me. The words hit Sarah and Michael like a wave, and they both find themselves speechless. Their son, who had been on the brink of death, is now asking them to care for the dog who had given so much for him. The truth is undeniable. Charlie's love wasn't just a simple act of companionship. It was a sacrifice, one that no one fully understood but everyone could feel. And as a family, they now had a responsibility to care for the dog who had saved their son's life, to return the love that had kept Ethan from the edge of darkness. As the days pass, the reality of Charlie's condition becomes more evident. Despite Ethan's miraculous recovery, Charlie continues to decline. The once energetic dog, who had always been the picture of vitality, is now weak, almost fragile. His body lies still, his breath shallow, and his eyes seem distant, as if he's using every ounce of energy to stay by Ethan's side. Sarah and Michael watch helplessly, feeling an overwhelming sense of sorrow and gratitude. They realize, with growing certainty, that Charlie's devotion to Ethan was more than just love. It was a sacrifice. The idea that Charlie might have given a part of himself to save their son is no longer just a possibility but a painful truth they must face. Ethan, aware of the sacrifices his beloved dog has made, refuses to leave Charlie's side. He asks to stay with him, his tired companion, in the small space of the hospital room. Ethan lies next to Charlie, his fingers gently brushing the dog's fur, offering what comfort he can, even as his own body is still recovering. The connection between the boy and the dog is palpable, as though their hearts are beating in sync, their bond unbreakable even in the face of the inevitable. Sarah sits beside them, tears in her eyes, while Michael stands at the window, his thoughts heavy with the weight of what they're witnessing. They know that Charlie has given all he can, and that time is running out for him. The love that has kept Ethan alive now seems to be draining from Charlie's very being, and they are powerless to stop it. The door opens, and Dr. Coleman enters with updated test results. He walks in with a mixture of relief and confusion, his brow furrowed as he reviews the papers in his hands. He looks up at Sarah and Michael, still unsure how to explain the sudden change in Ethan's condition. Ethan's recovery. It's a medical anomaly, Dr. Coleman admits, shaking his head. His tests show dramatic improvement, and I can't explain it. There's no logical explanation for such a drastic turnaround. His heart, his vitals, they've all stabilized in a way that doesn't make sense. Michael and Sarah exchange a quiet glance, both aware that the mystery lies not just in Ethan's recovery but in Charlie's role in it. The dog, although visibly weakening, still lies close to Ethan, his body lying at the foot of the bed, a silent guardian. His presence, though exhausting him, seems to be the one constant in the room, as though it's this bond between them that defies all explanation. Charlie's gaze is fixed on Ethan, even as his own energy fades, his devotion unwavering. Dr. Coleman pauses, studying the scene in front of him. Whatever has happened here, I can't explain it scientifically, but there's something between the two of them, something beyond what I can understand. That much is clear. The words hang in the air, and as they do, the parents realize that the miracle in their room goes beyond the realm of science. There's a power at play here, a power that seems to reside in the unwavering love of a dog willing to give everything for the one he loves. As the family watches Charlie's last moments, they know that what has happened in this room is more than just a recovery. It is a testament to the strength of love, and to the sacrifices that sometimes only animals can make. The day moves on, but the atmosphere in the hospital room is different now, calm, yet heavy with an undeniable sadness. Charlie, the dog who had given everything for Ethan, lies motionless at the foot of the bed. His once lively eyes are now dull, and his body, though still, seems to have surrendered its strength. The love that once radiated from him is now a quiet, peaceful presence, though it is clear to everyone that the time has come for him to let go. Ethan, now fully recovered, senses what is happening, and with a quiet but firm voice, he turns to his parents. "We need to help Charlie," he says softly, his eyes reflecting the same sadness that fills the room. He knows what his faithful companion has done for him and feels the weight of the dog's sacrifice. "He's my hero," Ethan adds, his voice barely above a whisper. Sarah and Michael, though deeply grieving, nod in understanding. They've watched as Charlie fought to protect their son, giving his all to keep him alive, and now they are faced with the difficult task of letting him go. They gently gather around Charlie, their hands brushing his fur one last time, offering him the same love and comfort he had so selflessly given them. As the family sits there, the moment that everyone has been dreading finally arrives. Charlie's breathing slows, and with a soft sigh, he passes away in peace. The room is silent, save for the quiet sobs of Sarah and Michael, who hold each other in their grief. The void left behind by Charlie's passing is overwhelming, but at the same time, there is a sense of serenity. He had done his job, he had protected, he had loved, and now he could rest. Ethan watches Charlie's final moments, his heart breaking for the dog who had been by his side through it all. Though the boy feels a deep loss, there is also a sense of clarity within him. Charlie's spirit, his loyalty, and his love will live on within him forever. He knows that he will carry a piece of Charlie with him always, no matter where life takes him. With a quiet determination, Ethan picks up a pencil and begins to draw. As his hand moves across the paper, an image begins to form, Charlie, not as a dog, but as an angel, wings outstretched and standing guard over the family he had protected. The drawing captures Charlie's essence, his love, and the incredible bond between them. Ethan looks up from his drawing, his eyes filled with tears but also a profound sense of gratitude. He's always going to be with us, he whispers, more to himself than anyone else. The family stands around him, silently watching as Ethan completes the drawing. They know that even though Charlie is no longer physically with them, his legacy, the love he had shown, the protection he had offered, will live on in their hearts and in the memory of everyone who knew the incredible dog. They will always remember how he saved Ethan's life and how he showed them what true, unconditional love really is. As the drawing is finished, the family hangs it on the wall of the room as a reminder, a tribute to the loyal golden retriever who had sacrificed everything for them. With the drawing, they know that Charlie's spirit will forever be a part of their family, guiding them and protecting them, just as he always had. As the family leaves the hospital, their hearts are filled with mixed emotions. Ethan is now healthy, and the journey that seemed so uncertain just days ago has taken a miraculous turn. However, as they step into the world outside, there's an undeniable absence that they can't ignore. Charlie's memory follows them, quiet yet profound. The dog who had sacrificed so much for Ethan has left a lasting mark on their lives that will never fade. Inspired by his beloved dog's devotion, Ethan begins a new chapter. He visits local animal shelters, bringing with him not just his presence but the story of Charlie, the dog who had saved his life through his unyielding love and sacrifice. Ethan shares the incredible tale with everyone he meets, spreading the message of the deep and unconditional bond that can exist between humans and animals. He talks about how Charlie had not just been a dog but a hero, one whose love was more powerful than any medicine or treatment could ever be. Together, Sarah and Michael join Ethan in this newfound purpose. As a family, they begin volunteering at the shelter, helping care for abandoned and neglected animals. Every act of kindness they extend to the animals echoes the love and devotion Charlie had shown them. They give their time, energy, and love to make the world a better place for those animals who, like Charlie, are in need of compassion and care. They understand now more than ever how deeply an animal's love can impact a person's life, and they want to carry that forward in every way they can. Their efforts soon inspire others in the community. People begin to see the powerful connection between humans and their pets, and the deep sense of responsibility that comes with it. The family's work with the animals and their heartfelt devotion to Charlie's legacy becomes a beacon of hope and love, a reminder that love has no bounds, and that the bonds we share with our animals are as real, meaningful, and transformative as any other. The message they spread isn't just about rescuing animals. It's about recognizing the profound connection that transcends life itself. How love can heal, protect, and change lives in ways no one can fully explain. And as they share Charlie's story with the world, they know they are honoring him in the truest way possible. By continuing his legacy of love, compassion, and selflessness, his spirit lives on in every animal they help, in every person they inspire, and in the quiet moments when they remember the dog who changed their lives forever. If you enjoyed this heartfelt story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing tales. Your support keeps us going.